Thank you so much, Laura. Welcome to the EU LCS post-game lobby after week 7 of the summer split. I'm Sjokz here with Vedius and Foxdrop, and we're just waiting for Nukeduck. He just got off stage. He was getting mic'd up, and he'll join us very, very shortly. And then, well, we can start talking about this game. Very highly contested one. I believe Vedius had the correct prediction after all. So what did you... You said that you were looking at the mid lane specifically. Is that then what decided everything? Because it felt like Upset had a great game.
Yeah, so it was definitely not the deciding factor. Nukeduck had a fantastic game, another pocket pick bringing out. We heard it in the interview, both Zed and Vel'Koz. He played Kayle earlier in the split as well.
Yeah.
Love the diversity that he's bringing out, but it was all about the bot lane. Vander's roams, combined with the fact that Upset is playing phenomenally on these carries, is a joy to see. And we talked about in the match intro how everyone is stepping up independently. While Sjokz had a rough game, other members were compensating for his weaknesses and allowing Schalke to still be a strong unit as a whole.
Wonderful team unit. We also have Nukeduck standing by, I believe is ready, so you can join us if you're feeling up to it. First the chair, and then the man in the mid lane himself.
Yeah, just touch man. Hello, guys.
Hello, welcome. Congratulations, great stuff. 2-0. How are you feeling about this weekend overall?
Yeah, I'm happy about the weekend. I mean, we expected to win the games because like those teams are like not like that difficult matchups for us, I would say. But yeah, we were obviously happy.
Why is Misfits stylistically a good matchup for you guys?
Yeah, I think usually we will do well against Misfits. Like, I mean, especially when they play this kind of like style, they didn't draft like that strong early game, and then I think we are a bit better after early game than them. So if they don't have like a huge like early game snowball comp, we usually do very well.
That is something that in the spring split wasn't really, I mean, your early game is also better now, but also in the spring split often we didn't see as much, I would say, aggressiveness in the mid game, and where you guys were, when you guys were behind, you wouldn't initiate so many fights. It seems like you guys are much more aggressive overall and much more confident. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, of course, like we were like extremely like bad last split, let's say. Like our roster just didn't work out at all, but now we know what we have to do this game. We knew that we had to, you know, be grouped as 5 to win the fights against them. They had the split push, so once we're like all grouped, we won't be scared to go in. Yeah.
Okay. Vedius, you wanted to jump in, I'm sorry.
I was curious because while the team is showing signs of growth, one of the points of criticism that a couple of analysts have thrown around is like your Baron setups yesterday, especially against, I believe it was Roccat, a couple of Baron plays didn't go exactly your way. Against Misfits, did you think that was a point of concern, or do you think it's still a point of concern for Schalke as a team?
Yeah, we're not the best at setting up Nash, yeah. Like, cause we need to be more, you know, like diverse in what we do. You know, we can't just pressure the Nash. We have to pressure something at the same time. And with the enemy team like stops on the Nash, we need to have, you know, like a plan to follow up on that. But yeah, this is definitely like, let's say, our weak point, yeah.
A working point. The player of the game is Upset with 57% of the votes. That'll make him, I think, very happy. For us, Vedius, you had pointed out at the beginning of the day that Upset had been impressing you as of late, but this was definitely a standout performance from him. Fox, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Upset's been one of these guys who I think that people have always had their eye on him and perhaps even been overcritical just because an expectation's been set, right? And when he's not been able to meet that expectation, which really maybe even unfairly that's been put on him, suddenly everyone's like, oh yeah, Upset, when's he really going to break through? When's he really going to live up to the hype of that super rookie that people kind of said that he would be? But honestly, I think he's been performing really solidly, especially in this game. I think going up against Hans Summer, you really see Upset able to shine in this matchup specifically against the Vlad you're mentioning. They didn't draft a particularly good early game. So when Upset, you put him in his element, I think you can... I mean, he absolutely showed it. Even solo killed Hans Summer at one point, right? Yeah. He's completely capable of looking like an absolute stud.
I think that is pretty interesting and maybe fair, the fact that we were all like, oh, Upset is this rookie coming in, him with the Till, he's going to do amazing things. But sometimes if the rest of the team, if it's just not working synergy-wise, maybe that's too big of an expectation.
I will say that one of the reasons those expectations existed was because people like Reckless were giving huge props and praises to this guy coming into the split. So when you hear all these positive things, you kind of set those high expectations, and once we tempered them a little bit more, I think it relieved some of the pressure on him. And last split, I believe he was sick for a couple of weeks too, so you didn't even start off with Upset. Boris had to come in and sub for a couple of games.
Which was fun.
Which was entertaining, yes. But I feel like now coming into the new split with the new roster, they've kind of gone with the game plan that they wanted last split, which was start off slow, progressively get better and better. And funnily enough, when I was speaking to the coaching staff, they told me by week 6, we will be a good team. And this split, week 6, they get the 2-0, they're maintaining the 2-0, and they're finally hitting the game plan that they wanted.
Yeah, that's true. That is a great point. It seems like it's all working out. Amazing said in the interview that he feels like this is the first time in 2 years, like he's back. Have you noticed his growing of confidence and just of his abilities in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he definitely, he's like a great, you know, like leader personality. So like when he came in and he was just a bit rusty, but now when he's like, you know, not rusty anymore and he's caught up, you know, to the current meta, he's very good, yeah.
Also, you picked the Vel'Koz in this, and they said, well, you just have a ton of pocket picks. That must feel good, because this is a really big matchup. It's against the #1 team, and you feel good enough to be like, you know what, I'll pull out the Vel'Koz. I don't care. Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, I did practice quite a lot of Vel'Koz, so like I was happy to play him against Galio.
You've been playing for several years. I heard in Euphoria that it's not as easy for you anymore to just practice and then play solo queue for another 10 hours and stuff like that, but you still find the time to practice enough new champions?
Yeah, if you're just efficient about it and you play like, let's say 10 games a day minimum, you know, it's not like I don't play. Then you can easily like learn the champions you need to learn.
Okay.
So you need to have also a thought behind it, you know, you need to know like, you can't just play something random for fun, you know. You have to like put your time efficiently into champs you think will work in the meta.
Like Nocturne mid.
I was just going to bring it up.
Yeah.
So what, do you think it's a good, have you
It's
seen
not
Vedius'
good.
Nocturne
No,
mid? Do you
don't.
think it has
Well,
potential?
I have seen Nocturne mids in solo queue though.
Yeah.
Yes. So for a while it worked with Smite, but I'm not going to get too much into it. It's OP into Irelia, but she's gone now, so that
Okay,
sucks.
cool. Final thing about this match, Hansama finally on Mages, and I think that kind of fits into the whole Misfit started to lose. He said he would try it. It isn't supposed to be
Yikes
perfect.
is all I
but-
can say.
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah. I thought
Elaborate.
it was not good. The fact that he died 1v1 against Upset, to me, suggests more that he's unaware of the limits of his champions. He doesn't quite have the experience. He doesn't know how to utilize mages as well as he does AD carries. That, to me, is a big point of concern. I think Misfit should be happy with the fact that the meta is shifting way more towards AD carries.
Yeah.
Like, LCK is now like 80-90% AD carries in the bot lane, and they're on our patch. And next patch, which is next week, we have even more AD carry buffs. So I think Misfits need to stick to AD carries, because based on this single game, he has not impressed me.
Nukeduck, what have you thought about Misfits in the last couple of weeks?
I mean, it's quite similar to Vedius. I think they're really good when they play, you know, like ADCs that have, you know, like early pressure bot lane, and they just like snowball through their bot lane the whole game. Whereas in this game, you know, they obviously try to snowball through top. So yeah, they're as Vedius said, much better on ADCs.
Best better on ADC, so hopefully we'll see that again in the next couple of weeks. Another match I want to touch on is our match of the week, Fnatic. They took down G2. It was very explosive early game and mid game, and it was all just pulling the trigger for Fnatic when it got to the mid game. Fox, we didn't get your thoughts yet on this matchup. It was in the end pretty convincing, I would say, for Fnatic.
Yeah, just a tad, yeah. I think that what I really liked about the way Fnatic played this game was just their team synergy and coordination, specifically in the way they played the team fights, like little micro things, was really on point. And I think they had a draft that enabled them to flourish in this situation. Like the ones you're seeing here, just the way they engaged and their target selection and stuff like that. But there was even there was an example earlier on where there was a fight in the mid lane, and Cabs actually windwalled Orianna's shield onto...
It's in our big plays later as well.
Right,
Yes,
well,
it's great.
should I still...
No, you should definitely
okay.
still talk
But
about it. Sorry.
it basically just like it blocked the shield from Orianna, not even an aggressive spell. The shield from Orianna, it blocked that one coming through, which forced Perks into the Sombrero ultimate, which you hate to see. No one likes to see that, unless you're a Fnatic fan, of course. In which case you love it.
How good is Caps' Yasuo
No, it's definitely the best Yasuo.
in the LCS?
Yeah. I mean, at least when he's like spamming it, he's super good on it.
When you look at Caps as a player, is he just on other fields also at another level for EU LCS mids, or do you not feel that way?
I mean, obviously against us, we got really stomped, you know. But I haven't like scrimmed him that much lately,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to say. But definitely the best one now, yeah.
Okie doke.
I mean, to be fair, when you played him, it was 3v1 mid lane, not a 1v1
Yeah, that
mid lane.
was-
That was awful.
Yeah, that
That
I
was
don't
a
think
tough
that
game.
was your fault or anyone's fault. I mean, maybe amazing, but that was unlucky all over. If we look at the standings, this now means that Fnatic takes the lead over G2 Esports. G2 Esports is falling down quite a bit, which could be really good for Schalke because you guys now are 1 win behind them in wins, and you are.
Don't we have a
tied-
double tie?
No, we're tied with them.
You're
I'm
tied
pretty sure.
for second because you should be even with G2 right now.
I think they're
Yeah.
tied with. Oh yes, you are.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
my mistake. So you're even tied with
Triple
G2
tie.
Esports, and
Yes.
just 1 game behind that first place. So
Are you one? Did you beat G2 in the first half of the split?
No, but
No.
we beat them in the second one.
So you are 1-1, which means potential a lot of tiebreakers I can see happening at the end of the split for like top of the seeding.
yeah, but the annoying thing is that number 3 doesn't actually give you too much besides the fact that in the reseeding, I believe something can happen in the
So
shuffle.
the thing about seed 3 is you'll play against seed 6
Yeah.
in your quarterfinals.
That is pretty good.
And then the higher seed will always go against the lower seed.
Mm-hmm.
So if, for example, 6 beat 3, then between 4 or 5 would go up against the lower seed.
But where the real money is in the bye, place 1 or 2. Obviously, then you skip the quarterfinals. Is that what your sights are set on now?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to get top 2, yeah. And if not, like, third spot is quite good too, you know, because you don't have to face probably Fnatic in the first round, which is something we really, you know, want to avoid doing.
I think everyone wants to avoid Fnatic in the first round. Overall, do you think that it's going to be really tough for someone to kick them off that stage in Madrid?
Yeah, I think they're looking like the best team right now, yeah.
Yeah, we will see. It is quite a change because for Schalke, we've like for so long had to talk about you guys in quite a negative way. First about the old roster, and then in spring about the roster, and now it feels good for us. So it must feel great for you. We're talking about can you even get number 1 or number 2 before playoffs? That's quite a mindset. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. Mindset shift for you guys as well.
So what I think is really interesting about Schalke is
They're good now.
no, but in the second half, you've now played Fnatic, G2, and Misfits, right? Because you beat G2
yeah.
last week, and they've beaten Misfits. So in theory now, you only have easier teams to go. So in terms of your schedule, it should be easier than a lot of other teams, which means that their road to first place is much more realistic than some of the other opposition, because Misfits have to play G2 next week.
Yeah.
Which, given in their current state, you could argue that G2 are kind of the favorites in that matchup, which then shakes things up. And Schalke are in a really good prospect, based on their strength of schedule, to actually be in a good spot to challenge that top 2.
Yeah, it's looking good. Fox, did you want to jump in?
Well, you were going to say Misfits' current state against G2, maybe Misfits might be the underdog. What about G2's current state?
I mean, that's all.
They're
Everyone's
looking
current state.
not so good. But do I have time to ask a quick cheeky question before we move
Of
on?
course you do.
All right, this goes to you, Nuki boy. So we talked about Amazing, right? He's kind of on the upswing and it's kind of like less rust, more confidence, right? So to me, the opposite of that is Jankos.
Right.
What do you think is going on there?
It's hard to say because this is like happened to me for like the last 3 weeks. I did not win one solo queue game when I had Jankos in my team, basically.
Wow.
So
he's cut.
and I had him a lot. So I don't know. I think he's definitely struggling with something. Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, we obviously don't know. It's always tricky, so we're not going to go too deep in that. We are week 7, aren't we? Yes,
We're week
we are.
7.
You
2 weeks
said
left.
6 before. Only 2 weeks left, and it means that emotions are running high. Roccat went 0-2, unfortunately, this week, and Memento tweeted that in this state they don't even deserve to make playoffs if they can't close out that game.
Oh, yeah.
It's been dramatic for Roccat.
They should have won that game
Yeah.
today. They had a very clean early game. Joko had little to no impact. I much preferred the Roccat draft, and I felt like that they had all the pieces in order to close out that game, and then they failed to do it. And we talk about their inconsistencies, especially in the late stages of the game, but today it just felt like they dropped the ball, and they are kind of slumping right now.
Yeah, it feels like it could be that this week just keeps them out of playoffs because they were all reacting also very emotionally to those 2 games, so they're going to have to rebound. Splice's coach, Peter Dunn, also... Was it Peter Dunn? Or was it Duke? I believe it was Duke. I think I requested that tweet, but I can't remember. Anyway, he tweeted that same, like, if we play like this, we don't deserve to go in playoffs. It's very disappointing. So it's really tangible to me that those 2 teams, and especially Splice, who just yesterday we were talking about as a team that could make it to the top 3, is now in such a free fall.
Yeah, it's really scary.
It was Duke, just confirmed, by the way, sorry.
Because the thing is, so Rocket and Giants are really happy that Splice lost to H2K.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
H2K are out of playoffs. Their whole goal is to play spoiler and find upsets. And Splice had a clean opportunity to create a pretty healthy gap. They would have been 8-6, 1 win behind Vitality, and
above Rocket.
they only then had teams below them pretty much left to play throughout the regular season, and so they could have had a pretty steady climb, similar position to what Schalke's in. But because they lost to H2K, now the 2 teams underneath them are quickly looking to catch up.
Yeah, Nukeduck, who do you see? Do you think this is going to be the top 6 before playoffs, or do you see someone jumping in there?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe in Giants, actually. I think they can do it. If Splice doesn't, get their stuff together, then I think Giants can do it. But Splice are good when they are on form.
Yeah, that is a good point. The last couple of weeks they have been good. That's why it's so weird now. We're going to talk a bit more about playoffs. And my favorite part of the day, I'm going to hit you guys up with some Sjokz statements. They are designed to be a bit inflammatory. The first up is Vedius has played his last game for Vitality. Once again, this is a construct of my imagination meant to get you guys talking. First, Nukeduck, what do you think of the whole situation that Kikis came in there?
I mean, apparently they had, like, I got maybe some inside information, but they had, some problems in the team. So
Okay.
now they have Kikis, and I mean, he's playing like extremely well. So I think, the statement might be right, yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. A bit of insider info. I mean, the case is with Kikis doing so well, I don't think it takes a lot of issues. It only takes a little bit to have that situation explode, and I think as a coach, as your motto, hopefully you're prepared for that then, and you can talk to both parties. But fact of the matter is, Kikis has been insane for that team.
Yeah, I think for me, to answer this question, it's less about Kikis' performances. It's more about Vedius' willingness to take a step back and then come in if his team needs it. But it's got to suck, really. Honestly, you have to feel for Vedius when your job's on the line and you get replaced like this, and then you get put out, someone else gets put in, and suddenly the team looks really blooming good.
Nuke, can you imagine that Andre says, Nuke, you're off, and we're sitting as someone new because we got to start winning, and then they start winning?
Yeah, that must feel pretty shitty, yeah. It must feel pretty shitty.
Yeah.
A bit of a dumb question,
So,
of course.
I was in a similar situation in Vitality, because at some point GBM was switching to mid, and the coach wanted to, split scrims and just compete for the spot. But luckily I ended up playing, but yeah, I must imagine it feels quite shitty.
Tricky.
I think it's also one of those, so it depends on your perspective as well, right? Because technically he's not benched, he's a sub. He's in a similar situation that Bwipo was in, where they were kind of, you now have 2 available top laners, and while Soaz primarily played, Bwipo was always there and learning, and hopefully he would provide something different.
The master plan was to take over from Reckless.
Yeah, that
from
was the master
start.
plan, which eventually worked out for him. But if you're Vedius, he's now got his eyes on Jizuke, and he's practicing Rise, and no. But I mean, what you're kind of looking at in that situation is, what can Vedius himself look to do that's different from Kikis, and then just offer a different way of playing the game. Because what we saw was when Vedius played with Vitality, their ability to teamfight was good.
Yeah.
It was their strength, but it was pretty much the only thing they could do. And it was just a little too narrow-minded. Now they have Kikis, they're much more centered around counter jungling, Kikis getting himself ahead, less playing around the laners and more playing for himself. And now we're seeing Jizuke take more of a back step. He doesn't need to be a big carry because someone else is fulfilling that role. So having these different styles, I think, can be valuable. But for now, all they care about is locking playoffs and securing a good seed. And if Kikis is the better answer for that, I think it's fine. But I think Yamano's long-term goal is to have just more options available with 2 different junglers.
Yeah, we'll see after what we heard here if that evolves into something. Is Vitality more scary with Kikis, Nukeduck?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think they're one of the better teams right now. And for us, at least, I think Vitality is like the second worst matchup for us, let's say. So I'm more scared of playing against Vitality than G2 or Misfits right now.
Okay, there we go. That's a big praise as well. Second, Sjokz statements is we will see Schalke 04 in Madrid. We already touched on it a little bit, but that would mean you go for the final or for the 3rd place match. It's been a while since you got to play on a big stage like that, so...
Yeah.
I didn't mean that negatively. I just meant like it would be nice.
I get it. Yeah, it's... last time I played was in Season 3, like 5 years ago.
Well, that was the Lemon Dogs era, I remember.
Yeah, that was the last time we played in Gamescom in the final.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I haven't been to like a final or a semi-final even ever since.
That's
So
going to be good.
What do you think? Will we see you in Madrid?
Yeah. We will
Yeah,
go to Madrid.
for sure. What do you guys think? And in what game?
If
In what match?
you know, if I were, my personal belief is yes, I think we'll see you. But to play devil's advocate, I think a lot of what the EU LCS has been about is kind of like teams finding form and not finding form, finding form, not finding form. I think all of these teams, I mean, the standings are being shaken up like constantly. You know, it's just what team seems to be in it. Like Rocket looked really good a week or two ago. Now they just went 0-2. Pretty devastating form as well. And Schalke look brilliant right now. Not so impressive at the beginning of the split. Maybe it's they fall off during the tail end in playoffs.
Let me ask you this. Is this inconsistency? We talked, I remember very clearly that a couple of weeks ago we talked about how strong Fnatic, Misfits, and G2 Esports looked. And we were even starting to think about if these teams were to go to Worlds, would they be good and all that? I kind of feel that that's all has been swept under the rug now. And I'm more doubtful about the strength of our actual teams. What do you guys think?
So I think one of the big things was that coming into the split, we had a huge shift in the meta, right? Riot implemented big changes to AD carries, and the bot lane changed, which inevitably changed mid and jungle and top status tanks. But everything pretty much changed all across the board, and the teams that adapted fastest succeeded the most. And what we saw was our top 3 teams adapted damn quickly. Fnatic, first week, sure, a little scary, but after that, they very quickly figured out a plan and they stuck to it. We're now kind of going back to standard. AD carries are being buffed again. 8.14 already saw globally way more AD carries just being played, and 8.15 is even more geared towards that. So now we're moving back to standard, and the teams that typically succeeded with standard are finding their strength and comfort again, because it's more about understanding how to play around the map. Your intelligence is being recognized rather than just your individual skill to build early game leads. And I think what we're identifying is that teams like Fnatic, who have a good read on the map, are getting better. Schalke, who is full of experienced talent and has kind of been training to play the perfect game for a long time, that is now working out for them. And teams like Misfits, who already showed last splits, if you are geared more towards a mid and late game centered meta, they do not know how to play it. And they have not fit into that role of understanding how to play the game. So I feel like our original top 3 teams are not adapting to how the meta is now shifting back to what it was. And so you have these experienced teams who've kind of been looking to better understand the game, develop into that position.
Do you agree with that? Do you have anything to add?
I'm not sure. Yeah, you said a lot. Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you what I am worried about though.
Yeah.
If I am a certain Carlos sitting at home and looking at how the standings look, I've just come out with a new Spanish-themed jersey, and hey, we better make Madrid, because G2 was a lock for that not too long ago.
I'm going to give
when they
some
were
free
designing
publicity
it.
here, but that G2 Spain jersey looks so good.
It looks great.
So good. So for their sake, I hope it pans out. But
Yes.
regardless, I think it's a cool jersey to have. You can thank me later. My bank account number is no. Just kidding. Final statement also about the standings. Giants will pull off a miracle run and make playoffs. This was our theme coming into the week, and we didn't believe it. I'm going to be honest. We compared the strength of schedule of the Unicorns of Love and Giants, and we said it is easier for the Unicorns of Love. Yet Giants come out this week. They beat Rocket and they beat Misfits. Nukeduck already said that he kind of believes in it, that it's possible. What about you guys?
I struggle to believe in it. If they lose to Fnatic, they can still make it through tiebreakers and stuff, but they still have to get through G2. I believe they still have to play you guys.
Yeah, we play them next week.
They've also got to play Splice. Now, I could see them being Splice. I struggle to say that they would beat G2, maybe. And given that they are early game centric, maybe they can get a win against Schalke, given I would argue that's arguably one of their weakest points. But it truly would be a miracle run. I am not in the camp of it. I would say that it's like a 25% probability.
That's why it's a miracle run.
That's
bro.
why it is a miracle run.
Who's the best of 5 team out of the current top 6? Quick. I know this is like a big topic. I'm like, quickly, can you tell me this?
Fnatic.
Fnatic?
Yeah.
Fnatic.
If they use
me
Reckless,
too.
I would say Fnatic
If
as
they
well.
use Reckless, well, that's of course the big joker. We don't know. Bwipo did, in his interview, he hinted at, teased that we may be seeing Martin Larson back.
I mean,
on
we
the
did
Ritz.
say on yesterday's Ready Check that he's been training throughout the regular
Do you
season.
have more insider info?
Yeah, like I heard that Reckless has been playing scrims with them, so
Oh, so that wasn't the case prior?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was almost not playing for like the last month.
That is new information. Of course, when we ask the members, we can understand that they're briefed to say something, but that's good to know. So good to know for him, because I think it's like with Gilius. Sometimes you make a decision or something maybe, and you're out and you get in this bad mindset, and maybe that affected Reckless as well, and then he was kind of too far gone to come back. But good to know that he's scrimming, so there's hope. But do you think they need to bring him back?
It depends on the next patch. Like I think Vipo is, very, very good. But if ADCs become, the standard again, then it would make more sense to play Reckless, obviously.
But Bwipo can also, they can swap out Bwipo for Reckless also as well. Like if you want to do that kind of like flexing your subs a lot. So I think that adds a whole nother layer of diversity to Fnatic.
I think next week with patch 8.15, and with potential rune damage changes coming in, the game's progressively going to get slower. We're going to see more crit marksmen coming back in. Tristana, Sivir, these kind of Caitlyn, these kind of carries will be steadily making their way back into the meta, and the moment they do, that is Reckless's. That is his perfect meta.
But was that confirmed that they're nerfing the runes?
So all I saw is on the PvE changes. Okay. So if they come through, then there's less damage. Okay. And if there's less damage on runes, then the game typically tends to scale more towards the late
makes me really scared that they want to nerf that. Because this will be like tank ADC form for 6 items. Just like the
I'm not
days.
a fan of the change, personally. I like the fact right now I feel like we're in an okay spot.
This is perfect. I mean, you can play the carries, you can play the Vlads in the bot lane still. It feels pretty good. But
yeah, to me, it feels like we're in a decent spot. We'll see what happens. It's still PvE, we don't know. But if that trend happens, then I think Crit Marksman will come back, and that will be the perfect time for Reckless to make his return.
And mid can still play whatever they want, so that's good for you guys.
Well,
yeah, I mean, if they go through with all those nerfs on the runes, like you'll probably be seeing like
Azir again.
Yeah, you will see Azir 100% if that goes through. Like you will see Azir, Orianna, or some kind of so just like boring champs.
But you won't see like the Zed pocket pick.
Yeah, that'll go.
We want Vel'Koz, we want Zed, we want Yasuo, we want all that stuff.
Yeah, Zed is pretty good on the 8.15 again.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. More Nukeduck Zed. Yes.
That would be great.
What a treat. We do have to move on. I'm so sorry. It was because we have to check out your LCS big plays of the week, brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, it's not Faker, Blanc. He pulled off an insane Orianna shockwave against Schalke yesterday. As Sloth Hipster said it right, holy moly.
If they actually get a chance, I think if you are Sjokz, that's what you should be looking for.
Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Amazing. Arctic Assault. It goes out of the pit. There's no flash available. Amazing was clearing out wards, but the equalizer comes down. Blanc is the focus. To Amazing and Vizichachi trying to run him down. Vander goes up on the left-hand side. Realm Warp. That's a 5-man shockwave! Rocket destroys Schalke's HP bars. They are running for their lives.
There we go, baby!
Line and sink! Schalke no fear! Rocket get 3 kills, and they will turn back to Baron.
She's no flash, she's no flash, she's no flash. No flash, let's go, let's go.
Hey, no play.
No flash. Careful, this is bad, you should get out. Okay, you need to get out.
Get out.
Get out.
Oh, yes, focus front line.
Run to us.
Look.
Oh, nice. You can win. I will be behind. Go. Someone take.
Yes, go in. Go chase.
Go, fuck him up.
Nice, go.
Nice, go look. Look. Astro.
Yes.
Astro. Nesha. Oh, Blanc.
Oh.
So when that happened, how did you guys feel?
It was actually my call to go in, so it was, felt pretty bad,
I love that Blanc is like silent throughout the whole clip. He's like deadly focused.
Yeah,
and those are some new game sounds. I haven't heard bleeps quite that high. No.
Did you happen to catch the Norway segment?
Yeah, I did watch it today actually. Yeah.
What did you think?
It was pretty cool. I mean, Quickshot's national anthem, like he said the right words, but his rhythm was like very, very off. But it was fun to see. Yeah.
Nukeduck, can you do me a huge favor? We have our writer called Evan. He's Norwegian. He is obsessed with everything Norwegian, and so with you. Would you mind looking in the camera and just giving a little message to our that one? Just say something to him in Norwegian.
Hallo, Evan. Håper du har det bra.
Awesome. That is great. And also, he told me to tell you that it is Nukeduck's år.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We won't translate because we're not allowed to say
Yeah.
what it actually is.
I will translate it.
Alrighty, next one. G2's Perks, he was all alone against 4 H2K members as the underdogs tried to secure a Baron. The odds look to be stacked against the mid laner, but with a Fed LeBlanc, nothing is impossible.
It was Perks who gave away his life in a late-game team fight against H2K that allowed them to find that big fight, turn it into a Baron, and come back into that game. This could be history repeating itself, as it was Perks who died and H2K secured themselves their second Baron of the game.
This is the moment for Perks to prove he belongs amongst the best EU mid lane. Oh my god! G2 Perks steals the Baron!
Flash. Let him not play high check. Tipping. Vlad no flash, Swain no flash, Graves, I think no flash.
I don't think I can contest
No,
it.
I'm moving. Maybe we can try to make a pick after. Maybe we cannot.
Okay.
Oh, well, that is... that's a way to end the game, I guess.
Wonder is so hilarious.
I built that whole narrative being like, it's gonna happen again, it's the repeat of history, and then Perks just comes in, no, that's my Baron. I'm like, okay.
Perks made H2K angry, and then they came back and they beat Splice today, so they, they can be mad at Perks. Our last big play comes from our match of the week versus, Caps rather, and Fnatic. It was tougher for Perks in that matchup, specifically at Aldepa. Dorio tweeted, Este muro de Caps con Yasuo es de locos.
Hylissang is here too. This is the trio. Will they go for the play? Perks flash out to safety, dash out. Hylissang not hesitating there, but here comes the rest of the lineup. Yang goes to the middle of the Perks! Sombrero for nothing! Well, at least it looks cool, but this fight may not turn in their favor. Cap's going to find the knockup now, needs to make it out to safety immediately. The flash of Wonder is on the side. Meganar is coming. Where's the double bounce going to be? Where's the Goomba stomp? He's going to look for it.
Yes, flashing, cleanse.
I'm going.
Hovering. Knocked inside hovering. Jumping.
They're hovering, they're Tom Gun shooting.
Oh, nice.
I don't have TP, I don't have TP, I'm walking with Predator.
No shockwave, Versal. No shockwave.
I cannot see.
Sam.
Careful, Gna.
I think we leave.
We have to back off.
I'm coming on.
We're all out.
Okay, I'm going back.
Did they use any summoners?
I had to CP though for that.
I use flash as well.
Now I saw it. I
Yeah.
didn't catch it the first like 3 times I
Yeah.
watched it.
I don't think Fnatic saw it though.
No.
You
It was
think
an
it
Nocturne
was-
ulti.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it on
good
purpose,
point.
but it was.
That was
cool.
all caps.
Yeah,
I
Caps
don't know.
is insane,
Calculated,
man.
yeah.
Wow. With 4 games left for each team in the summer split, let's take a look at the schedule. Our games next Friday, week 8 already. Where does the time go? I don't know. So if we think about the standings, first up, I want to look at the G2 game. So the Unicorns of Love game absolutely must win for them. Giants, if they want to go further with their miracle run, have to beat Fnatic. And Sjokz is up versus Vitality. Ooh, what are you thinking to that one?
It's gonna be hard, I think. It's I don't feel like 100% confident at going against them because I know they're very good and they know how to snowball. But at the same time, I think we can win.
Okie doke.
I think that if Schalke want to win, they have to deny Vitality winning lane matchups, especially in mid lane, because we know Kikis likes the counter jungle, and it's something that Amazing, he's been playing a lot of Sejuani recently, which is susceptible to being invaded upon. So if Schalke can find a way of mitigating that and Kikis' strength, they stand a good chance.
I don't remember what our match of the week is in this instant. Maybe someone can whisper it
It's
in my
G2
ear.
Misfits, which is on Saturday. the
G2
day
Misfits
after.
on Saturday. Fantastic. Now it's almost time for us to wrap up. The NALCS action is coming up. They'll be starting with Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, but NALCS Countdown is kicking off literally in 1 minute, so we have to wrap up. In case you missed anything from the EU LCS, we will rebroadcast everything after the last game in North America. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Nukeduck, it was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, great stuff. Schalke 04 is on the rise together with the Year of the Duck. I'm just going to say it once. This was it. Good night. Gratuleer, merceer en alt voor Norge Hilseniven. What is that?
Good, yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is awesome. Okay.
Shockwave
way, pulls him in. Ruin's gone down. Baron is going to get smited, taken out by the Kaisa. Now will Giants be able to take any more members of Rocket down with them? They find one, steal back, flashing forward, finds TQ for the double kill. Betsy getting the last breath, and it will be the last breath for Rocket as Giants Gaming have won the game. Oh, but it still keeps on going. That's a lot of fights. Now Kabi, hop over. There's the Gnar from Spinny J looking for some revenge from earlier. Sheriff 1v2, Spinny J flashing right back. Mega. This is going to be a triple kill. But as it is only the Nexus for H2K, today is a great day. They're just going in. Dangerous Cataclysm, the flash out. Ooh, immediately the combo. Galio was here too. The map movement from Vitality. Forward, Totoro only manages to find one. Immediately Vitality! Oh, blood in his eyes. He finds the opportunity. And hello, Vitality. Fight their way back to the top. Oh, how we missed you.
Oh, they're pulling it. Source wants to ult again.
Well, comes out. They manage to connect on the Wood Deed. Now oh, they don't even need anything else to follow up this there from Broxa. The shockwave is too little too late. Here we go. Comes no Megan. Oh! Instantly, the team is just cut down. Broxa coming in, running everybody down. They're going to close it out in the end. Fnatic takes sole control of second place. Oh, coming in. TB goes out, needs to knock him back, throws him into the wall. The combo's coming in, but they put him in the middle of the Galio. Still, it goes down. Nukeduck uncontested on the ultimate with the platform from the Sjokz. Here comes Hansama, goes in with the Hemo Plague. Double kill, triple kill, quadra kill for upset and a beautiful game from Sjokz.